In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions, only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
What's up, you bunch of freaks? That's right, you know what time it is. It's the Friday free-for-all, not freak-for-all, the Friday free-for-all. The show that is for you, by you, no FUBU. Hey, man, this is a Panther show. If you have a Panther opinion that you want to give, well, man, this is your show. I've dropped the link to join the Streamyard in the chat box, and it is also in the description of both of the videos. This is your show, man. You want to come and talk some Carolina Panthers? Well, that's what this show is designed for. As always, I am joined by my Friday free-for-all partners in crime, Nick Montero. Nick Montero, what's up, brother?
What's up, Cody? It's Friday. It's right before a Saints game. You know, we're all pumped for that. Saints are looking pretty hurt, so it gives us a good opportunity to get ahead and keep up with this winning record we got.
Yeah, another really good opportunity right here in front of us, man. The Jets were hurt when we played them. Now the Saints are hurt. We're back at home. Man, never been a better time to get a win over a division rival. I'll tell you that right now. I'm also joined by Kevin Boshoven. He's a fan of an inferior college football team, but whatever. He's still a friend of mine. He's a Panthers fan, so I like him anyway. Kevin, what's up, brother?
Good. I'm happy to be on the Free Ball Friday?
Yeah, Free Ball Friday. Friday, Freak for Ball. Friday, Show Your Balls. You know, whatever you want to call it, man, that's good for me. As long as you hit the like and subscribe button, damn it. Tickle that like button. I mean, hey, use a feather, man. Tickle the like button's feet. Whatever, it might peel a little bit. It's okay. Hit the subscribe button. And if you haven't done so already, hit the notification bell to get a reminder every time we do something like this and go live and talk about Panther football. Shout out to 89J subs. Let's get the party started. I appreciate you, brother. So listen, I want to jump right into it. Again, if you want to join, the link is in the description. But let's jump into this. There's been a lot of talk around this keep pounding chant in the stadium. And the Panthers have come out and said that they do not intend to stop using the keep pounding chant. However, they don't want they want Panther fans to be able to spark up the chant on their own without using prompts from the stadium. Now, a bunch of fans have felt a bunch of different ways about this. A lot of people see it as the Panthers trying to kind of like gloss over one of the most important, mottos and sayings in our Panther fandom. And then some people even kind of agree with the sentiment that Panther fans as a fan base need to be more passionate and start things on their own accord. Let me jump to Nick. Where do you land on this issue?
So Dave Temper became an owner sometime in 2018, which I find kind of ironic because that I became a fan of the Panthers at the end of 2018. It was week 16. Me and Josh drove all the way down from Mass, and we saw the game. Got a rear end kicked by the Falcons because it was the first game that Cam sat. But while being down there, you get to know the team. You get to know what they're all about, and the big thing was keep pounding. It was always a big thing while I was down there. So it's not something that should be messed with by any means. We do initiate it on our own on occasion, but the other thing that I kind of want to point out too is how many times do other teams just start up their own team chant randomly on their own when they're at their own home games? It doesn't happen all that often, so I don't necessarily feel the need to mess with it whenever we already do it on our own on occasion. Put up the sign that says keep pounding. go ahead, make us yell it. But we already say it on our own, so
Yeah.
I don't know what else he's really looking for at this point.
Let me welcome another fellow friend of the Friday Free for All, our brother, our friend AJ Lindsay. AJ, what's up, brother?
What's going on, guys? How you guys doing tonight?
What's up, AJ?
Dude, happy you could be here, man. We're doing good. We're excited, man. We got a big time Panther game this Sunday, a division rival. We're all pumped, man. I want to get everyone's opinion on this keep pounding chant around, whether or not the Panthers should stay or play the chant in the stadium, whether or not fans should, realize the best moment to do it on their own. Kevin, what say you, man? I mean, is there a middle ground to this at all? Is it, the fans have to do it on their own, or the chant has to be played on the scoreboard? Like, where do you fall on this?
When I first heard it, I was like, oh, okay, no big deal. Fans can do it on their own, but it does kind of go along with the whole David Tepper, kicking everything out before him, with the players gone before him. And then it just kind of feels, he's a billionaire. They do everything under the radar type of things. Like, oh, we're not going to tell you not to do it, but we're also, you can still do it yourself.
Yeah, and then like a lot of fans are, I've heard a bunch of fans try and say that normally it's kind of hard to get the keep pounding chant going without the scoreboard, and that it's just sort of tough to catch on. AJ, did you fall any one way on this? And I'll even make this a broader question. Do any of you feel like, and I'll start with AJ on this, but do any of you feel like maybe some of the Panthers' values and traditions isn't as important to David Tepper just because of how new he is to being the Panthers owner? AJ, is there anything to that?
I think that's the big thing, is that he hasn't been around long enough to understand the meaning behind keep pounding and how it's been a part of our franchise since Sam Mills, which has been years. So, with him coming in, I really just don't think that when he thought about it, he didn't see it as big of a deal as it's turned out to be.
Exactly.
Right.
It's like the terrible towels for the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you took the terrible towels away and stopped giving them out, and people are like, where's the terrible towel? He would understand that because he's been in Pittsburgh. So their franchise has been around forever. So I think he would understand that. I think now, hopefully he understands now the meaning and the way us fans feel about the keep pounding chant, and they'll bring it back for good.
Yeah, I think that's a great point too, and this is something that I even brought up on the Tuesday show, is that, and I don't know if this was ever substantiated, but I remember once upon a time there was a rumor circulating that David Tepper, shortly after purchasing the team, even mulled around the idea of changing the colors for the Carolina Panthers.
I didn't hear that.
Wow, I didn't either.
I'm telling you, I swear I'm not making this up. I remember one of the beat reporters said that, and he was like, yeah, you guys are lucky he didn't go as far as he wanted to or whatever. Because I also feel like,
what would he even change him to that's not even taken by another team?
Yeah,
exactly.
How many red and blue teams are there now?
Yeah, true. Also being joined by Panther Rule. Hey, Panther Rule, turn down your background just a little bit, man.
I got you.
Yep. But also, am I the only one that's noticed? And tell me if I'm wrong on this, but I feel like even in the jerseys over the past few years, it's kind of like a different shade of blue. Or am I tripping on that? Like, I know the Panthers blue is technically called processed blue. But if you look at some of the newer photos, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I just feel like they're a little bit brighter. I don't know.
I think it's the fabric.
Maybe so. That could certainly be it. Go ahead.
Yeah, because didn't the jerseys from like the 2000s kind of have more like a sheen to them, whereas the jerseys from nowadays are more flat? I feel like I remember the jerseys from the early to mid 2000s, kind of almost not necessarily having like a metallic look to them, but that real shiny look to them.
Right.
I can go grab mine if you want.
Yeah,
Compare
I
and
mean,
contrast.
and they were
There you go.
heavier. I mean, I think it's because of the different manufacturer. Because I've got a authentic Dan Morgan jersey from back in the day, and it's a lot heavier than the new ones are today.
That might be
as far as
Nike.
the colors on them.
Yep. 89J Stubb says they also messed up starting lineups. So I'm assuming like that's when they're all coming out from the tunnel at the start of the game. I don't know. I haven't been since 2019. That's the last time I went to a game. Still trying to get out to one this season. Hopefully that'll happen too. But we're also, it has me wondering about David Tepper. A lot has me wondering about David Tepper, and just, if he does really know and truly understand, a lot of the things that are near and dear to Panther fans, because I think there's certainly a case to be made that he's still learning on the job. Panther Rule, what say you, man? What do you feel about this keep pounding chant deal we've got going on?
Well, I understand. I guess I understand that they want it to be more fan driven, but I kind of think, I mean, really, how hard is it to push a few buttons on a keyboard and let a sign pop up on the? I mean, how hard is that? It doesn't seem hard to me, but I understand where it's honestly, it should be more fan driven. When we see our team in distress, we ought to be able to get up and scream and chant, keep pounding. But I do also know that there's a lot of what they call wine and cheese crowd up there that only show up for the entertainment of showing up somewhere that evening or that day.
Yeah.
You don't see them there when the weather gets tough. I have a guy I chat with who lives in Charlotte. He's a Falcon fan. Well, I don't chat with him as much as I used to, but he lives in Charlotte. He's a Falcon fan. He has PSL seats for the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
But he sells them when he don't go himself, and he only goes for the seat of Falcons. And he sells them every game because he gets that much money out of them. And he purposely sells them to opposing fans.
And
that's the only reason why he bought them.
And, I think this kind of ties into another question, too. It's like, what can be done? Like, one, that's on us, right? We're the Panther fans, right? Like, we're the only ones that can determine how fervent of a fan base we have, right? But I think this also ties into something new, too, is like new things that the Panthers are trying to do to, cause some attention and, do their own things to further this fan base. I wanted to get everyone's opinion on this real quick. Shout out to my lovely mother for the $5. Love you, Mama. Keep pounding. I also wanted to say, I wanted everyone to give me their opinion on this big virtual reality Panther. I mean, it's cool that we did this, man. I saw this everywhere. This was all over the news. Like, people were talking about this. This is on Pat McAfee's show. Like, this is a big deal. People are talking about this. Do you guys love this? I love it too.
I do. I love it. Yeah. And I heard a comment the other day, and
I thought it was cool.
I like the comment. It would have been better if he picked up and I guess it's gross. Maybe I watched too much sci-fi. It would have been better if he picked up a jet player or a jet coach or something, swing around a little bit. But,
real savage, like
But for example, if they could do it this weekend and have him pick up Sean Payton, how many people would love that?
Are they going to do it every week?
Dude, I was just going to ask that.
So. Yeah,
I was just going to ask you that. Like, I don't know. I mean, is this?
I hope they do when they change their odds to the opposing colors team.
Yeah. Now, you know what's the coolest thing I've heard, though?
I would really hope they do it every game and they would use the color of opposing teams.
Yeah, that would be cool. The fans actually people on social media actually ask, can the people at the stadium see this? Talking about, is there really? I mean, I just can't believe people actually ask that question.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, but
A lot of people like Doug Stoyevsky in the chat says they didn't like the green eyes. Tony even mentioned that too. And it is kind of weird. Like, I don't know if it was just because we were playing the Jets, but if you notice, that was another story before the season started, that right behind the end zone, the Panthers' eyes that are right behind the end zone, they changed those to blue. So it's funny that they put all this money into this big badass Panther, and instead of the blue eyes, and like right here on the board, you see the big blue Panther eyes.
Yeah.
And he's got the green eyes instead. I just found that was an interesting.
Well, you know what it is?
Shoot out the Jets flag. Had animated shit out the flag.
The other thing is too. You remember the Panthers? They used to be right outside Bank of America Stadium. What color were their eyes?
Oh, they were green.
They were green. So that could be the reason why that Panther has green eyes.
Yeah, so almost like it's one of those, like it's one of the Panther guardians that guards the stadium. That's dope.
I don't remember. Was the original Panthers, when they first created, were their eyes green or blue or what? White? I don't remember.
I don't necessarily remember. I think the blue eyes are cool. Like, I'd love.
Oh, I do too.
And we all do. Like the Panthers' colors, that black and blue together. Man, I don't care what nobody says. Those are the coldest colors together, man. That black and the bright blue, man. Yeah. That's awesome. I love it. I wish that we would. I've been saying for a long time, the Panthers might need to. I even think upgrade their uniforms. Yeah. Like, teams have done this before, and maybe this is a whole nother good conversation too, whether or not the Panthers need a uniform change.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily something crazy, and it's not like our current getup is bad, but hell, the Patriots just changed theirs. Like a bunch of other big, different. A bunch of other big
black
franchises have everyone's been calling for the black helmets too, right?
I heard a rumor a couple years ago that they legally can't do that, but I didn't know how true that was.
Well, why couldn't we do that? The Ravens and the Falcons
that have black helmets. That's what I thought. It was something I heard on social media that somebody said that they couldn't do that because something to do with health or safety or something. But it made no sense because other people's got different color helmets.
Dude, the Steelers have black helmets. The Ravens have black helmets. The Jacksonville Jaguars have black helmets.
Yeah, all black.
The only thing that I thought about is that the Panther logo is a black logo with a blue outline. Ostensibly, if you put that logo on the side of a helmet, it's really just the blue outline and the teeth that you're looking at.
Can we get the Sam Darnold drawing on our helmets?
Oh, yeah, the derpy one. The Panthers are selling that now. I saw that on Twitter. The Panthers are selling
the mini helmets.
Yeah, the little mini helmets with the little crazy Panther on them. What can be done? So is there any relevance to this idea that the Panthers, could do more to start things unprompted? Or what can Panther fans do to kick this wine and cheese narrative that we're the wine and cheese fans? Like, what would Panther fans have to do?
I have an idea. I don't know how plausible it is because I don't know all the legalities in the PSL seats, but I would think that require them to come to at least 3 or 4 games per season. Require them to be there, not just selling their seats or even simply saying, okay, you can't sell your seats anymore unless you have
or limit how many seats you can sell in a season.
Yeah, something like that. Something that will force them to say, you know what, it ain't worth my trouble doing this. So, I mean, because
there's definitely a lot of different ways to approach this too. And dude, listen, I know this is not popular. Okay, I know when I have opinions that are unpopular. Okay, and at least I own them. I'm not a fan of the Sweet Caroline, dude. Like,
I'm not either.
Dude, it's maybe I'm 100% alone in this. Maybe
Yeah.
people love this shit.
That's Red Sox shit, man.
Yeah, dude, it's like
it's not even a sports song. I mean, it's
yeah. And
when they talk about Carolina, they're talking about a woman who's fallen in love.
Yeah, the woman who's named Caroline. Like, what the fuck is that about, man?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
P.D. Pablo.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I've been saying, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, Carolina, come on, everybody.
Raise
Take your
up.
shirt off. Man, bro, that would be the shit. I've been wanting that forever, man. Some P.D. Pablo in the stadium. And instead of a terrible towel, you give everyone a T-shirt to wave around at the start of every game.
There you go.
Take your shirt off, spin it like a helicopter, man.
That way nobody actually takes their
right
shirt
there.
off. You don't have to see their bodies. Huh?
Yeah, no, we don't want to see everybody with their shirt off. No. Maybe some people, but not everyone.
I'm sure there's going to be some people taking shirts off. We're gonna say, put that shirt back on, dude. Yeah, I mean, really, just put it back on.
Yeah, a lot of people. But yeah, let's I wanted to jump into this real quick. There's this clip of JC Horn going around, and dude, it is the nastiest interception that you've ever seen. That also shows off the capability of what JC Horn is able to do.
Oh, I messed up on that one.
Hey, actually, Cody, I got an idea.
And
instead of the towels, hand out little drums, like small little finger drums or something like that for keep pounding.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So look, check this out, right? JC Horn goes back to the left, comes back one-handed, just snags that thing out the air, dude.
Who's that?
Man.
Who's 15?
Is that Erickson?
I thought it was
Zylstra.
Zylstra. Yeah, Zylstra.
He's 16. That's 15.
I thought it was Brandon Zylstra, isn't it?
I'll find out here in a minute.
Zylstra is 16.
He's 16.
I'm trying to read the jersey right at the back, right?
Brandon Zylstra. No, that's 15. We don't got no 15.
I
must be practice squad.
Yeah, I might have to look it up here in a minute. Saunders. CJ Saunders.
Gotcha.
But then Robbie Switcher says that, yeah, CJ Saunders is 15. So, yeah, man, dude, that is a crazy interception. And I also heard Matt Rule was at the press conference. Or no, not Matt Rule. Phil Snow was doing his press conference. And he said JC Horn was so upset at that interception that he gave up in the end zone. I forget what receiver it was for the New York Jets.
Corey Davis.
Corey Davis. And dude, he was so upset about that. Apparently, he was like, "Coach, I got to make up for that. I got to get you one. I got to get an interception. I got to bring one home." So I think that shows the kind of competitor that JC Horn is. And I'm also wondering, I want to stay on him. What kind of matchup do we think that JC Horn is going to have? Who they're going to put him on? And what are we expecting from him this Sunday?
Dominance.
Well, you got to think that missed catch by him.
Yeah, I expect JC to lock whoever he goes against down.
Yeah, and you got to think too, that happened at the end of the game, so that's still fresh in his mind that, at the very end of my first NFL game, I let that pass go to the house. Like, he is going to come out on fire because of it. He seems like he's that player where he plays with a vengeance.
I would absolutely go nuts if he got a pick six in that game. Preferably early, just to get the team, his teammates, and the fans riled up.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a new guest joining us.
Yeah.
Raleigh, how are you, man?
Circle of death.
Nope. Anytime it takes too long, I don't trust it. If you're coming in the chat you have a minute to say hi, hey Cody, how you doing? What's going on? And for me to acknowledge you and have you be a part of the show, man. I gotta have some rules to this, or else, well, you all know what could potentially happen. Yeah. So, JC Horn, I'm really interested to see what our entire defensive backfield is gonna do. I mean, even Deontay Jackson. I think they're going to want to throw the football. They've got the offensive line to do it. If it's really going to depend on our defensive backfield shutting down their receivers, and they're not very deep there this year. They don't have Michael Thomas, so I'm really expecting a lot from our DBs.
The second receiver, Taquan Smith, isn't he out or something?
Now, did they bring Rashard Melvin back up to the main roster?
I heard
no. He's on the practice squad, but they can still play him Sunday under the rules now, because they can play some of the practice squad players on the roster on the game.
Okay.
I'm hearing 4 defensive players for the Saints might be out. Starters.
So here are the ones that we know of. We know Eric McCoy is going to be out. We know Davenport, Marcus Davenport is going to be out. We know that Marshawn Lattimore is going to be out. Is it game time?
Yeah, I read it today. There's like he could be game time.
Oh man, that would definitely change things, man. I would prefer Sam to
I'm pretty sure he's gonna be out. But
Easy says, do we get AJ Bouye back this week or next? That's next week.
Next week.
That we get AJ Bouye back.
Is DeQuan Jones? I know he's
on a short
been
week
limited all week. He's been limited all week. Is he playing or?
Yeah, so everyone should be playing. Apparently, Davian Nixon had some groin. It was either him or Daquan Jones had some groin stiffness. Taylor Moton.
It was Daquan Jones.
Yeah, Daquan Jones and Taylor Moton had some groin stiffness. So, but apparently Matt Rule said that those guys are they're good to go for game time. So it looks as though we have everyone. Someone in the chat room, Rich Bolin, mentioned Corn Elder. I wonder, good old Corn, back in the building. I wonder, what role he's going to play, if any at all, considering that we don't have our normal nickel there.
They're going to switch around like a bunch of different.
They're going to do by committee nickel.
Yeah,
depending on what roles are in. They're going to use the safeties. I like our safeties, but if you're going to take any of these safeties and put them in their nickel, I honestly would rather it be Chin. He's got the speed and the ability to cover a person. I don't know that the other safeties can actually go man-on-man coverage. If you're the Saints and you're Sean Payton, if you see a safety who's a good safety or a decent safety, I believe I'd change it up quite a bit to take advantage of that.
Yeah. I'm really also hoping that we get more aggressive with our blitz. I don't have the numbers in front of me right now how much we blitzed against the Jets, but I'm thinking that would be more of a part of our game plan. Considering they do have this really good offensive line, they're going to want to run the football. I just think being aggressive against the New Orleans Saints is something that you have to do. And I also wanted to bring this up because I've been feeling some type of way about this. I've been listening to Matt Rule and Sam Darnold in the press conference, and these questions come up about the Saints. And, hey, did you put any extra effort or emotion into the Saints, or is this just another game? And to a T, Matt Rule and Sam Darnold and most of our coaches say the same thing. It's just another game. It's the next opponent on our schedule. And, dude, I'm going to be real. I hate that, man. Like, that's not what I want to hear. We're talking about Panther fans, like, being like a wine and cheese fan base. Dude, these rivalry games, especially these in-division rivalries, I feel like they have to mean something. So yeah, we haven't beaten the Saints like legitimately.
Well, I think it means something, Cody, but I don't think they
2016.
want to give them any bulletin board material.
Yeah. I don't know what
Okay.
team comes out and says, I hate those guys. I want to.
Well,
kick
think about
Yeah,
what
right.
Rivera used to say, or even John Fox. It is a division rival. We know them, and they know us, and but Ron used to still acknowledge it was a division rival. Where Matt's just another game. I understand the point where they don't want to give them no bulletin board material, and I understand that. I just, as a fan, I like to hear the coach say they're division rivals. We really want to beat the hell out of them. I like that.
And that's more what I'm saying too. It's like, it is just another game.
I mean,
and none of the past kind of transitions over to now, but this is important, man. Like, we've done nothing but lose to the Saints. Yeah, you don't want to give them bulletin board material, and I'm not saying go that far, but man, it's like, this isn't, to me at least, and maybe I'm wrong here, this doesn't feel like just another game to me, and especially for Panther fans. Like, if you want Panther fans to be
it's
in
not,
the stadium,
it's not just another game to the fans.
Yeah, well, I mean,
but you also have to remember that Matt Rule comes from the Tom Coughlin tree. And Tom Coughlin, Bill Belichick, those guys, to them, it's the next game on the schedule. And that's the way they look at it. It's like they're not going to get any higher. They're not going to get any lower. It's the next game on the schedule. And
he probably does acknowledge it. Like,
they leave all the rah-rah and everything else to the fans to get upset.
Yeah, which now Matt Rule, he's
but in the media, that's
coaching
how
idols was Tom Coughlin. I've heard on the radio that he talks to Tom Coughlin at least once a week. So
that's not good.
I don't like that idea myself either. But
he coached under Coughlin.
Yeah. I understand where he's close to him. He coached under him, and so, but.
It's hard to imagine him and Coughlin together. They seem completely opposite.
Yeah, that is a bit of a weird one to ponder. I don't know, man. I just, again, maybe I'm looking for something that I know that they're not gonna give. I'm willing to 100% admit that too. But I just feel like we're the little brother in a rivalry, and it's like, we're just playing the Saints, and of course we have to go out there and win. But I just think it ties into this fan base narrative that we've been talking about. If you want, Panther fans to be passionate and start chanting, keep pounding on their own, like, it's games like these that mean a little bit more, and you want your fans to be involved, and you want your players to know how much these division rivalries mean to us fans. So,
but Sean Payton doesn't go out there and say anything to, to Panther fans. Oh, I hate these guys.
You're
destroy.
Exactly. You're not going to get these coaches at this level to do something like that unless you're like Dan Campbell. And then we laugh at Dan Campbell because it's like, okay, dude, seriously?
Oh, that's cool.
You're going to bite somebody on the knees or something like that? It's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, by the way, so Ryan G in our chat room, it says, Saints fan here, 7 coaches are out for Sunday. Everyone on the injury report is out Sunday except for Lattimore and CJ Gardner-Johnson, who are game day decisions.
Yeah.
So that's a huge deal, man, because even if those two guys are, if those two guys are able to play, dude, this is a legit defense that we're going to be running up against. So
how well does Jameis Winston play, you think?
This is a good question, because right now we're still kind of finding out who Jameis Winston is under Sean Payton. And listen, if you watch some of the, ESPN and Fox and some of those other guys, a lot of people are calling Jameis having a career resurgence under Sean Payton.
I thought it was going to happen.
I feel like a lot of people kind of thought that was going to happen. So I don't know. Let me pitch that back to you all. Is this something that do we need to worry about Jameis Winston torching us with this newly improved defensive backfield with J.C. Horn and Jeremy Chan.
Jameis Winston
Deontay
won't for
Jackson.
5 touchdowns against our defense.
Green Bay is suspect defensive.
I'm not worried. I don't think the Packers played up to par. The Packers defense is very bad, and Aaron Rodgers don't want to be there. He's just going through the motions, I believe. And I hope I'm right. I'm just not going to be scared of Winston Jameis yet. Now he may come out Sunday, and I might say, yeah, I was wrong on that one, but I don't think so. I don't think he's going to get 5 on our defense.
All right,
if he does,
exactly, absolutely not.
Yeah, real quick, we have a guy waiting in the back named Raleigh. Raleigh, if you can hear me, man, give me a thumbs up to let me know that you can hear me before I put you in the chat room. All you gotta do is just give me a thumbs up, show me your thumb, and I'll bring you in right quick. Yeah, just give us a thumbs up, man. Yeah, no. Fool me once, shame on me. You fool me twice, no, shame on me again. What George Bush saying? Some shit like that.
Yeah, fooled again.
Yeah, fool me once. Can't get fooled again. Fool me 3 times. Can't get fooled again. Whatever, man. Whatever he said. That's how I feel right now. But yeah, Nick, what do you think about Jameis, man? Is this a real stiff test for our Panthers offense? What do you think Jameis is going to do with this?
Well, I apologize if there's an echo right now. I'm working on switching over to a different Bluetooth, but I think that this game is actually going to be important for both the Saints and the Panthers. It's really going to define how Jameis and Sam does this season. You know, you got to think we have, at least in our opinion, we have one of the best defenses in the league, if not the best. I think we're definitely up there. You know, you got Burns and you got Reddick that's coming in from the sides, and you got Derek Brown that's coming up the middle. That's going to put any QB to the test, even a seasoned QB. The fact that Zach Wilson got sacked 6 times in a game by different players, I mean, that speaks for itself. How often do we have a 6-sack game? It's been a while since we've had one. I don't think we had anything like that last season. What's up?
We were dead last season, right?
Yeah, we did pretty terrible as far as getting to the quarterback last season. Now, I remember back in 2019 when we had Gerald McCoy, we were doing pretty good, but I don't think we ever had a 6-sack game.
No.
So it's really going to determine what happens with the quarterbacks the rest of the season. You know, our defenses are no slouch. Now, Sam definitely has an easier go just because of how many people are sitting on the Saints, but we've seen that our O-line is subpar. So it kind of evens out to where, you know, we're really gonna know what we have with Sam this week, at least in my opinion. And it's gonna be the same thing for the Saints. They're gonna know what they have in Jameis.
Hey, you know, I love when I see someone who I can bring in that I know who they are. It's Justin JD. What's going on, bro?
Sam can get the ball downfield.
What's good, bro? What's good? Happy you can join us, man. Yeah, dude. What's up with you, man? Hey, jump in, man. What do you think about any of this stuff that we've been talking about, man?
Man, I'm like the whole keep pounding thing. I kind of split on that. Like I can see one side of it, I can see the other side. Panther rules said you can't cost a whole lot to just put it up on the board, man. Just get it going. It's definitely something that should be yelled out, like say 3rd, 4th quarter. Like just go ahead and help the team put the game away. But
and third and 4th down situations on defense.
Yeah. But man, as far as like JC's pick, that one-handed pick, like that's the first thing that came to my mind when I saw the videos. Like I feel like the man's gonna have his first career pick 6 this upcoming game, and that would just be like
speak it into existence, man.
Yeah,
speak it into existence
too.
Yeah, and the whole thing with everybody talking about this is a renewed Jameis. I feel like the Saints and the Panthers are they're mirror images of one another offensively, hell, even defensively.
Yeah.
Take the game because like your quarterback has a questionable history, right? So you don't want to put too much on the shoulder. Make him more of a game manager. You know he has an arm. Darnold has an arm. Winston has an arm.
Yeah.
So they both offenses have elite running backs who, like, if nothing's open downfield, it's never the wrong decision to dump it off to your running back. C-Mac do work. Kamara does work. So I feel like
had a running back.
Yeah, it's like they're mirroring one another, and the biggest question to me is going to be who can get pressure. And if I wasn't a fan of the Panthers, I'd be saying we're in a worse way because our offensive line is by no stretch of the imagination on the same level as Saints.
Right.
But if we can keep Darnold upright, keep pressure off of him, and let that man work, like there's no reason, there's absolutely no reason why we can't walk away with the dub on this one.
Bro, how are y'all feeling about this offensive line right now? And be honest, man, like if y'all have a gut feeling that, man, this might get ugly before it gets better. Like, hey, all honesty right here. What are we thinking? Is this offensive line going to be able to be worth a damn and protect Sam Darnold long enough for him to throw the football this Sunday? Like Richard Fearings, he wants to see Terrace Marshall go off. But this offensive line, it just hasn't been able to hold up. Sam should have had way more yards, way more touchdowns than he did. And some of those were on him. I'm not trying to say that Sam was perfect by any means. But our offensive line was bad, and it's been documented as bad. So how are we feeling, man? Whoever wants to jump in on this.
John Miller is going to play Sunday.
Yeah.
He didn't last week. I'm hoping that if he plays, and that maybe Daly could on the left side they could do more of a rotational. Always keep a fresh guy in there. That ain't traditionally how you have an offensive line, but we got to do something because we can't go in like we did with the Jets. Our offensive line's got to dominate.
Is there any chance that if Elflein continues to struggle, dude, as much as I hate to say it, you all know what I've been saying for months is that Deontay Brown and Brady Christensen should get a chance. But I think I saw this mentioned on Twitter. I forget who it was, or else I would say who it was. But if Elflein continues to struggle, what are the chances that we put Miller in at left guard?
I think we would see Daly at left guard because that was more his natural position as opposed to right. I think that's why they were trying to say why Daly struggled a little bit. He did last week because he wasn't in the right spot.
I'm more worried about our interior offense line. Everybody's talking about our left tackle. I'm more worried about the inside.
Yeah. Now I would be all right if we put Brady Christensen at left tackle. Yeah. Or left guard. I would really be all right if we put Brady Christensen. But I'd be all right if anybody other than Elflein. But
I mean, did you guys see Elflein just put on roller skates for half the game?
Yeah. And then they still called him a starter.
We all saw that.
I would be ashamed to be a head coach over the Panthers or a coach, period, over the Panthers and come out and say, yeah, he's still going to be my starter.
So,
my
biggest question about the line is why do I've been trying to be optimistic about it, but why? So Daly played left guard and left tackle in college. You drafted Christensen, and you say his future is at right tackle. Like why are we getting guys that in college played on the left or played on the right, and then trying to switch like Daly's the second string right guard. Like honestly, he can't be any worse than Elflein. He should probably be the starting left guard. And if he can't cut it, then put Blaskois in or Christensen in. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't is Deontay Brown? I just keep calling him Blaskois.
Yeah, Deontay Brown. Yeah, you're right. He
was a left guard in college too, wasn't he?
No, he was actually a right guard at Alabama.
So there you go. Like that should be the starting lineup right there. Christensen at left guard. I forget who the left tackle is, but he wasn't terrible last game. The issue, Irving wasn't the issue. It was the Paradis and Daly. And if Daly feels more comfortable on the left, let him get in on the left. And if he can't cut it, then you put Christensen in. Let Blastoise have a right guard position. We already know what Moten do. Like, I feel a lot more confident if they just went ahead and did that. Like, okay, Blastoise and Christensen are rookies, but bro, they have veterans on their side, their left and their right. So like, off of God-given talent alone, they'll probably be able to hold their own.
We asked Jonathan Alexander from the Charlotte Observer on Wednesday night I asked him specifically about Deontay Brown, and he made it seem like Deontay being a healthy scratch had more to do with Deontay getting into game shape. And, he's had some chronicles with his weight of him trying to get down. He was at like 360 pounds at one point, but then it got down to around 330, I believe. So that's something that he's still been working on. But again, I mean, it's just preseason. I know it was. But I've also seen this guy play a whole season of college football 2 times in a row for Alabama. Granted, it's different.
One thing you can say about Alabama quarterbacks versus their O-line does well when they get into the NFL. Same can't be said for the quarterbacks.
Yes.
So, come on, man. Like, let's get the damn evolved Pokemon on the field, man.
That's what I'm saying, dude. And go ahead, Panther.
Oh, I'm sorry. The thing that's odd, you get Rule up here, and he'll turn around and still says it's a line in flux. They're still working. It's a work in progress, and he keeps saying that, and yet, I mean, granted, it's only second game, but we're still seeing the same people come out here. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if they're waiting for somebody to be dominant on the little time they're out there.
Well, the other thing to point out too is that's disappointing with this weekend, at least as far as a testing standpoint, that the Saints don't have their full defense, is the fact that it's another week where we're playing a team that's not 100%, full NFL caliber, and we don't know what we have on the O-line. So now we're looking at subpar players playing against our subpar players, and they're looking better than they actually are. So now we're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot. And how much longer are we going to keep kicking this can down the road?
If we have like some diamonds in the rough, if they're playing against subpar cats, then they should be able to dominate. So it could be a blessing and a curse.
When we play,
go ahead, Kevin.
Saying when we play the Cowboys too, they don't have Lawrence anymore too. So I mean,
he's gonna be out for 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It seems like a lot of teams that we are facing end up coming down with a bunch of injury problems. So, dude, look out for Houston when they play the Browns. Let me ask this. I've been kind of throwing this around on the Tuesday night show, too. I'm already kind of worried about some tendencies that I'm seeing from Matt Rule, and that frankly remind me a little bit of Ron Rivera. And it's kind of what JD was talking about. Like, if you have young, talented players on the roster and you're just not giving them the snaps because they're a rookie, or you're just afraid that they're going to mess up big, or they don't know the playbook, like, I'm 100% willing to, entertain the idea that maybe there is something specifically keeping those guys off the field. But I just have this feeling that guys like Tommy Tremble, Brady Christensen, Deontay Brown, these younger players that should be seeing much more meaningful reps in the game, like they're not seeing that in favor of the starters, the older veterans that we know are inferior players. And I feel like I'm already seeing that kind of tendency from Matt Rule. Am I alone on this?
Yeah, no. I agree with you. Tommy Tremble should be on the field. Like Tremble really shouldn't lead the field. I was contemplating his play earlier, and like as athletic as he is, we already like the thing that probably got him drafted was his blocking ability. With the offensive line being suspect, you want him out on the field. I feel like he's a better blocker than Arnold or Ian Like as a rookie, he's already a better blocker than they are. So if you want to keep a tight end out there, he should be the one that's out there. And with his athletic ability, you can load defenses to sleep because like, oh, he's out here to block. Play action the Christian, and Tremble hesitates like he's blocking and he releases. Every linebacker on the defense is gonna be, oh, Christian is over here. They're gonna lead him in. Like I feel like he can. I'm just kind of off topic, but I feel like we should be using Christian as a decoy more so than feeding him the ball. Like you could do stuff like that, like trips left, have Christian line up at the slot, have Tremble on the same side as Christian. Again, people are going to key in on Christian. You can easily slip Tremble out and pick up massive yards. Even
Hubbard as a running back.
I'd rather have Royce back there. Like Royce has shown that he can actually catch. Chuba, I still got question marks about his hands, but Royce he's proven that he can catch the ball. So he's not just hey, we're gonna hand it to you and that's all you do. So you still have the same capabilities of running routes with your running back. You have Christian on the field, and teams still have to respect and honor him. You keep Trumbull out there as an additional blocker on the chant. Like we're fairly certain we're going to need the additional help. It's probably going to be up the middle. On top of all of that, you keep Giovanni Ricci. Keep him off the field because that's what Trumbull did in college. Like my whole argument earlier about them taking left guards and right guards and switching them. They're doing the same thing with Trumbull. This man was a H-back in college. He lined up in the backfield at the fullback position. They motion him into the tight end position, or they have him line up at tight end and have him motion him back to the backfield. Why won't you let this dude perfect what he did when he was in college?
Yeah, and he's such a nasty player, man. When you watch his film, the dude's mean as hell with it, bro. The dude's trying to put you into the dirt. And I love that about Tommy Tremble, and especially if you're trying to, really enhance your run defense, man, that guy could be one of Christian McCaffrey's best friends. It's like, and I know we want to see him develop in the passing department as well, or as a pass catcher. But I think that'll come in time. I think Tommy Tremble on the field is a weapon for us, and the more that we're not putting him out there, it just kind of baffles me because apparently, even by Matt Rule's very own words, Tommy Tremble's the kind of guy that he'll stay extra hours at the facility to stay inside the playbook. The young man is incredibly dedicated, but I also don't want to just put that on Matt Rule. I mean, we have to put that on Joe Brady as well. And I feel like a lot of people kind of think that I'm a Joe Brady defender. And by the way, I kind of am. Like, I think the guy has the potential to be a fantastic offensive mind in football. But it can also be true that a lot of these decisions that we're criticizing also have to do with Joe Brady as well. And I think that if Tommy Tremble, if you have that kind of talent and I'm that offensive coordinator, hey, I'm pounding the fucking table for that dude. I want everyone to know I want Tommy Tremble on the field and Deontay Brown and Brady Christensen. So, dude, I'm just hoping to see some real leadership. Yeah, go ahead, AJ.
Well, Joe Brady had his press conference this week. And he talked about finding ways to get Tommy Tremble on the field even more.
Yeah, I remember
that. Especially he was talking about the seal block he made for Christian this week. And he was like, we really need to work at getting Tremble on the field more often. So I think that's something they're going to start trying to key in on to get him more opportunities on the field. Now, after they get that done, Deontay Brown is the next one I want. You can't have that man deactivated.
I know.
For a game.
I know.
That just can't happen.
I think some of the offensive line, the rookies' offensive line, I think we're at a point where when they're ready to go, they've got to stay ready to go. When they're ready to step into that starting role, they can't go to start for a few games and, they're already tired, so we got to back up a little bit. Once they're in there, they're permanent. Because you look at John Miller, he's not under contract next year. Matt Pilaris is not under contract next year.
Thank God.
Cam Irving is. Pat Elflein is. and of course Motrin is. So these guys are going to get key roles. And so once, if they're waiting for, let's say, Brady Christensen and Brown to learn the playbook enough that once they're in, they're permanent, then you want to make sure they're ready to go when they put them in there. Because if they get in there and they have to call a role where Christian's going to do a screen instead of, if they do an audible and they don't know that, then if they change from a regular run to a screen pass, then it's going to hurt the defense.
Yeah, no, that's a great point, man. I mean, on any given play, if one single person in 11 isn't doing their job correctly, or runs the wrong route, or minds the wrong gap, or whatever, it blows up the entire play. So no, there's definitely something to what you're saying, and making sure that you're on a rhythm. But that comes with snaps.
Exactly.
And this is my point.
I completely understand where you're coming from with that, but I mean, can you get any worse than Pal Elfline at this point?
Oh, no. If it was up to me, we'd start him and be done with it. But
every snap, I'm watching this guy getting pushed back in Sam Darnold's lap, and it's like ridiculous.
I would have cut Elfline. I would have cut him in preseason.
We should put McCaffrey on the line.
We should never sign Elfline. Elfline has been bad everywhere he goes.
Every time I see Elfline getting pushed back into Sam Darnold's lap, I keep thinking about Trey Smith and him putting those Browns players in the dirt. And I'm just that could have been our guard.
Could have been.
But we had to have that long snapper.
Yeah, the long snapper that's no longer with us anymore. Hey.
Well, no,
everybody. Hey, we were good at the special team shit.
For everybody that gets riled up about that long snapper pick, I think like the pick. So like if this is Jensen's last year, the long snapper pick won't bother me nearly as much. I think we can all agree this is not going to be Christian's last year. Them drafting Cuba, it bothers me more than them drafting that long snapper.
Probably, yeah.
Really?
Because Cuba in college, Cuba was the traditional running back. Like his yards came from being handed the ball. The man, when I looked up his stat, it was like he doesn't have a physique of the kind of guy. He doesn't have the physique of a Davis or Jay Stu or a Tolbert. So you got a guy who's, in the purest sense of the word, a running back. From what I've seen in the preseason, his hands aren't great. He doesn't really have any shiftiness to him. Like there was no other position. And then when Rule gave his explanation and he said that his wife was the one that called him up and said that you better draft him.
I would have never told anybody that.
He should have hung his damn phone up, put it on, and just after like, oh babe, I'm sorry, my phone died. I didn't catch what it was you were saying. Keep your wife out of that draft, bro.
Yeah. And then they're also saying that they're trying to incorporate Royce Freeman and get him up to speed. And
he needs to be on the field.
Yeah, and like that guy's played a lot of football. And dude, it feels like I've been watching Justin Herbert film for 3 years because I had inevitably watched so much of his film that I came to know a bunch of the Oregon players, and Royce Freeman was one of those players. And I remember watching him like, dude, the guy's a damn good running back. I mean, he just needs some opportunities to get out there on the field. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I forgot what I was reading, but they said that the reason why the Broncos, like, he fell on the depth chart, it wasn't because of production. It was just like the guys, like, they drafted a rookie or they have an undrafted free agent going in. They get out in the game, and what they were doing just overshadowed what he was like. What he was doing was still productive. It was just the rookie or undrafted free agent was doing a little bit more, so they just decided to move on from it. Like the dude, he needs. Like I say, if you have a setup where say we're running a pistol, and you have Royce out there, and you have Christian behind Darnold, you can motion either one. They're both like I said, Royce is a pretty good pass catcher also.
Yeah.
Christian could easily just go to the front office and go to the coaches and be like, I just want to be a receiver from now on. I don't want to be a running back anymore. Like, if you were drafting Christian as a receiver, the worst round you would say he is second round receiver. So if you motion Christian out of the backfield, you got to put a corner on him. So there's a mismatch.
Oh yeah.
Like
if you put a linebacker on Christian, it's a wrap.
Bro, if you put a safety on him, it's
yeah.
And like I said, it's that man C-Mac draws so much attention from his ability and shit. If they use him as a decoy, like play action or motion, it's I can in my head it's like, oh my god, like the offense would take that next step. The question is whether or not Joe Brady. I'm not gonna question that man's intellect or his knowledge. Like he's clearly in a position that I'm not in, but I want to see it. Like if I'm coming up with this shit, and I haven't played football in years, I just watch. If I'm coming up with this shit off the top of my head, bro, please like show us this shit in this upcoming game. Like let us see what the offense is supposed to look like.
Yeah, especially.
But you guys have to remember the reason they use Christian in the passing game so much is because he's a safety valve. When you got Elfline being pushed into Sam Darnold's lap, by the time he takes a breath, he has no time to look downfield to throw the ball. He has to dump it off to Christian instead of taking a sack, which is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In order to do what you guys want him to do, as far as using Christian as a decoy, you got to fix the offensive line so Sam has time to get the ball to other people.
And to build off of AJ's point, when was the last time that we had effective running lanes for Christian? Consistently, even some sort of consistency.
We haven't
with North, but that was more so because of
even his year that he went 1,000.
That was all him.
That was a testament to him. Dude, like he was making shit happen where there was no help for him on those offensive lines, dude. I even remember that last year that Andrew Norwell played for him. I remember Christian running behind Norwell. That was a badass thing to watch too.
What if we still had Mike Davis on the roster? What if we still had Mike Davis on the roster and he was leading the way for Christian? Could you imagine those two?
Guys, I hate to tell you this, but we haven't had a good offensive line since 2003. I'm sorry. That was the last time we had a actual solid offensive line.
Well, 2015
was all Cam Newton. Cam Newton turned chicken shit into chicken salad.
I'm the biggest Cam Newton fan. I love me some Cam Newton. I owe my Panther fandom to Cam Newton. I've told my story before. But what I will say is this, man. The unsung heroes of that 2015 team is Andrew Norwell, Ryan Khalil, and Trey Turner. Because the interior of that offensive line did the damn thing. And not even just for Cam, but for Jay Stu also.
But see, Cody, that's the thing. You're talking about the interior offense. I'm talking the last time we had a complete offensive line from tackle to tackle.
Right. Yeah.
So last time we had that was 2003.
So how many draft picks do you guys want to spend on O-line this year? Because I can tell you right now,
the whole damn draft.
I want
every
4.
Single one.
I want 4.
Hey, you spend one draft on entirely defense. Spend one draft entirely on the offensive line.
We draft one safety.
We need a center.
One safety and nothing but offensive lineman after that.
We're saying that
second round safety.
Too, but let's be real. We could also use another linebacker and safety in the draft as well. And that's something that we could definitely offensive line first and foremost, then linebacker for some more depth, even though we have been impressed by their week 1 outing against the Jets, and safety, man, a true single high free safety. I feel like we haven't had that in a long time either.
Or
you can remember we can pick up a linebacker in free agency. Linebackers aren't that expensive.
We tried that though. We brought in Perriman, and Perriman didn't do nothing.
And Perriman looked like a beast out in Las Vegas Monday night.
Yeah, true. And Frankie Louvu. We brought in
that whole defense looked great though. That whole defense looked great, and I think a lot of that was that line.
Hey, bro,
who was their edge that they had that was just on fire?
Did y'all see any of that Raiders-Ravens game?
Yeah,
a little bit.
Oh yeah,
Perriman was out there making some plays, man.
He got a fumble recovery. He was tackling everything in his area.
Speaking of of linebackers. You hear Thomas Davis talking about the reason why Cam was really benched?
Oh yeah, Dave
dude,
Gettleman.
Kevin, I'm so happy you brought this up, dude. Okay, so if you all remember, go back to 2016. It's Sunday Night Football. The Panthers are on the road in Seattle in the Pacific Northwest, and Cam Newton mysteriously doesn't start the first drive, and it ends up terrible. I think Derek Anderson threw an interception. Pick six right away, dude. It was so bad. And Thomas Davis is saying that this was not a Ron Rivera decision, that it was a Dave Gettleman decision. What in the fuck is that about, dude? Like,
are you really surprised though?
No sense to me.
I know, yeah. I've never heard of a GM.
But dude, if I'm Ron Rivera and I don't want to do that, but dude, if I'm Ron Rivera and Dave Gettleman tells me that, my first impression is, hey, fuck off, bro. Like, what are you talking about? I'm not benching my starting quarterback, the reigning MVP on the road in Sunday Night Football. Dude, that gives them all the momentum that they needed to steamroll our asses, man.
I would have told him he could take that suggestion. I would have told him he could take that suggestion, turn it sideways, shine that motherfucker up.
Yep.
Bro.
Just stick it where the sun don't shine, bro. Hey,
I think we all owe an apology to Ron Rivera now.
No, hey, real facts, man.
What else has he done?
No, we don't owe Ron Rivera an apology because he actually listened to Dave Gettleman.
Yeah.
On top of the fact that we
100%.
You can see your MVP starting franchise quarterback is clearly injured, and you don't walk up to him man to man and say, "Hey, the best thing for the team and you is to go ahead and just kill it right now. Go get your shoulder right, and we get back at this next season." If he did that, Cam comes back the following season ready to go, and it is what it is.
And that happened multiple times too.
Yeah. Dude, remember Go ahead.
Bro, before you go, the fact that we had Taylor Heineke on our team, we could have possibly won a few more games if they had just let Cam get his shoulder right. Put Taylor out there, and
Yep. Go ahead, Nick.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean, Taylor Heineke was the third string quarterback in the XFL. He did not see a single snap. Now, don't get me wrong. He looked pretty good on Washington's team, at least last year. I didn't watch the game Monday night or last night.
He made some damn throws, man.
It's one throw he hit his tight end in the back of along the side of the end zone.
Yeah,
bro, like that's NFL caliber quarterback. Yeah. That's the type of throw Teddy dreams about throwing.
But
even last
we've
year,
seen Taylor Heineke,
man. Even last year, Taylor Heineke made some throws on us.
Yeah, but remember when he started for us back in 2018? He wasn't all that great back then. I remember sitting in the stands in that Falcons game, Week 16, and both me and Josh thought Kyle Allen looked better than Taylor Heineke did, because Taylor Heineke started, got hurt, Kyle Allen came in for a little bit, and then Taylor Heineke came back out.
Hey, did y'all watch that game last night?
I watched the game last night.
Bro, did y'all notice? Dude, it was the most Ron Rivera thing ever. It was one of the final drives of the game, and Taylor Heineke threw the interception to James Bradbury. And Ron Rivera on the sideline, they instantly panned to him, and bro just has no emotion. There's no highs, there's no lows. He's not upset. He's not excited. I was like, man, that's the most Ron Rivera shit ever, man.
How about Graham Gano?
Oh, dude, and Graham Gano's still balling out in New York, man.
Can we trade for him?
Before you guys get too excited about Taylor Heineke, just remember, Kyle Allen went 4-0 for us, and everybody was like, "Oh, he's the replacement for Cam Newton. He's the replacement." I'm like, they need to put the brakes on Taylor Heineke.
I was never saying that. Like he was doing an adequate job. CMC was the reason why the offense.
I couldn't bring up the name Matt Flynn with him.
Pump the brakes on Taylor Heineke because he had one decent game. He turns around next week and throws 3 or 4 interceptions. Ron Rivera gonna be picking up the phone like, "Cam, you vaccinated yet?"
Yeah.
Cam's gonna be like, "No."
Dude, you kidding me? He's probably already made the phone call.
Shout out to 89J Subs. It says the annual Ron Rivera backup quarterback 4-game winning streak just to lose 10 straight. Oh snap, bro! That's that kind of hits the nail on the head. That is certainly something Ron Rivera did many times with us, man.
A 5-12 record might actually win their division.
Yeah,
bro, I know.
I don't know now. I think the Cowboys, and I hate the Cowboys, but I think they might have something to say about that.
AJ, everyone keeps saying
7
the Cowboys.
Wins?
Everyone
The
keeps
Eagles are
saying
better
the
than
Cowboys.
them.
Justin, that's what I'm about to say, bro. I think if any of those teams in the NFC East are actually going to be legit, dude, I think Jalen Hurts has a number 1 wide receiver in Devonta Smith. By the way, my number 1 rated receiver coming out of this past draft, Devonta Smith, looking incredible. And yeah, dude, that Philadelphia team is.
I believe in Jalen Hurts. I don't believe in their defense.
Okay, that's
the
legit.
Cowboys just need to rebuild.
I mean, they played Atlanta. I mean, who's not gonna look good against Atlanta? I mean,
yeah.
Atlanta's bad. I mean, really bad.
Good, but damn.
Matt Ryan may want to rethink his life choices because that team is bad.
And
go ahead, you know what?
Let's
it doesn't
pray,
look like
Julio.
it's not getting better for them either, man. Like, they passed on Justin Fields too. Look, let's be real. There's like a whole bunch.
Tampa Bay is gonna eat them up this weekend.
There's a whole bunch of different teams that could potentially be kicking themselves for passing on Justin Fields. Granted, he's not starting yet in Chicago. Many people think that he should be. I'm included in that.
I think everyone
people
is, except for Nagy.
I also have him on my fantasy team too, so I would like to see him start to earn me some meaningful points, hopefully. But yeah, man, this dude, I'm just pumped for this game, man, for this matchup in general. Like there are 2 games every year I want to win way more than every other one, and that's the New Orleans Saints and the Atlanta Falcons. Like, this means more to me, man. And
I'm sorry, everything is in Carolina's favor. They should not lose this game.
It's
this is perfectly laid out on a platter for them. I mean, you've got multiple starters hurt for New Orleans. They're coming off a short week. I mean, they have got to get this thing done.
Yeah, we have to, man. They have too many injuries. Again, I do think that the game might have a tendency to be close.
It will.
Because, again, it's the Saints. They're going to play us tough. I do think it's probably going to be hot. It'll be early. It'll be a 1 o'clock game. I think the weather should benefit us, too. Dude, the last time we played the Saints early, it was 2017, week 3, and Matt Khalil just whiffed and let Cam Jordan right by him to blow up Cam Newton.
McGee.
I was just about to say that. Speed bump McGee.
I feel like every time I do the Friday free-for-all, we inevitably end up, like, journeying down memories lane to all the fucked up shit we've been through as Panther fans.
And that's a lot of fucked up shit we've been through.
I know, man. This is a real ass therapy session for us, y'all. Like, we're working through some things.
Is Matt Khalil still in the league?
Hell no.
Hell no.
Huh?
He took our money and ran.
I feel like Cam Jordan ended that man's career the moment he caught him speed bump McGee.
Yeah. Oh, man. Hey, let me ask y'all this. Do we have a kicker curse here in Carolina? Because it seems to me like there's a trend. Like, if you're a kicker in the NFL, the best thing that could happen to you is that the Panthers sign you only to release you and for you to go on somewhere else and live your best life with a whole nother football team, bro.
Yep.
I mean, look at Graham Gano, Joby Sly was 7 for 7, 3 field goals and 4 extra points. Harrison Butker, I ain't even got to mention that. Y'all already know what time it is with Harrison.
I think
we'll see how long this Joey Sly thing lasts.
Yeah, I think that's going to come to a pretty quick end. You can't play the way that he did for us for as long as he did, and then all of a sudden go to a new team and I can magically kick everything through. No,
but guys, you know what's really gonna send Panther fans nuclear? If we go and play the Texans next Thursday night, and they send Joey Sly out for like a 50+ yard field goal to win the game, and he kicks that bitch through.
Oh man.
Okay,
That is going to send Panther Nation into a nuclear overload.
So on the chance that it does, I can easily see a situation. I forget who it was that said it, but it's like competition. Competition will make a diamond out of you, or it'll break you.
Yeah.
Had they gotten competition for Joey throughout training camp, so on and such,
Yes.
it's very possible he could have exercised the demons or whatever it was that was plaguing him.
Yes.
He could have exercised it then. It just we'd have been good. Like whatever. Like, is he gonna hit every field goal? No.
Maybe.
Like I think honestly, part of the mental aspect started last year when they were trotting him out there for 60-yarders and game-winning field goals that would have broken the NFL field goal record.
Yeah.
Hopefully the cat that they brought in can have a career resurgence with us.
Maybe his biggest thing was like he was worried about getting cut. And now that he got cut, it's like, well, fuck, I ain't got nothing to worry about.
They had his former kicking coach on Sirius XM radio a couple of weeks ago, and he said Joey Sly's got a leg. He said the thing with Joey is that his kicking, he changed his kicking motion. And he said he actually reached out to Joey Sly and said, look, the reason why you're pushing the ball one way or the other is because you change your kicking motion. If you want, I can meet up with you. We can try to fix it and everything. And Joey actually turned him down.
Bro, that's crazy to me, man. Knowing that you have problems battling consistency, yeah, why would you turn that down? Hey, real quick before we move forward, Raleigh Lee says, Cody, I'm not that guy. Something fucked up on my phone. I was talking and trying to join. I'll try it next week and just enjoy your opinion. Hey, man, I apologize for that. I'm just doing my best to try and keep random rogue penises off the Friday free-for-all, man. Jerry called this the Friday free-for-all. I'm out here doing my best, man, trying to make sure that this C3 channel stays good and monetized. By the way, if you hadn't done so, hit the like and subscribe, hit the notification bell every time we go live. Anyway, let's continue this conversation. Are we worried about the kicker position going forward? I mean, how much trust do any of you have in Zane Gonzalez?
We really don't know the guy. So, I mean, how are we going to trust him until he actually makes kicks for us?
I'm going to be worried all season.
Not only that, look at what he has done for other teams. He hasn't done anything to show us on even other teams that he's worth even having on the roster. You know, at this point, I'd rather have Eberle or whatever his name is.
What happened to the Baltimore Ravens backup kicker that we all wanted when we knew he wasn't going to beat out Justin Tucker?
Yeah,
he's on the Ravens practice squad.
That's the dude that Tony keeps wanting. The guy, I think he was a former ECU Pirate.
Verrett or something like that.
Yeah, Verrett or something. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's basically just what JD said. Like, we needed more competition earlier on in the process. So now we're still kind of, left fumbling. We don't really know what we're going to do with the position. And really, like, if you're Zane Gonzalez, how much confidence do you have in yourself? It's like knowing what the Panthers have done to Joey Sly and then Ryan Santoso, which, by the way, we still have to see how that guy does. Like, he might ball out somewhere else this year.
Well, he got signed to the Tennessee practice squad.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Yeah, that'll be something to look out for. But, Alex Stark says we send Zane Gonzalez out there for a 50-yarder, and he drains it. Let's speak that positive into existence. Hey, I'm with it, man. Like, dude, we need someone to step up at this kicker position. I feel like we all like to make fun, but this is a real serious thing for us.
Hey, speaking positivity into existence, Sam is going to pass for over 300 yards. CMC is going to have a rushing touchdown, receiving. DJ probably going to have receiving touchdowns, and my man Horn, representing Gamecock, going to get his first pick six after South Carolina beats Georgia this weekend.
There you go.
Oh, man, bro, you had to ruin it, right?
I don't know about the last part.
Bro, you had to ruin it. Like,
The rest
Right
of it sounds on
then.
point.
Speak
Bro,
that truth.
Bro, you literally didn't stick the landing, bro. You did everything else. You did
Let's
everything
change
else.
that Twitter
Perfect.
profile pic for Cody.
Yeah, me and Kevin have a bet. The Gamecocks, if they're able to put up at least a touchdown on the Georgia Bulldogs, I have to change my profile picture to a South Carolina Gamecock one on Twitter. But
Hey, you gotta speak positivity into existence, man.
Exactly.
hey, man, I'm not gonna blame you. Y'all Gamecocks need all the positivity y'all can get, bro. I ain't even gonna be too mad about
Who's
that.
2-0?
Bro, we ain't even gonna do that.
All right, let's stop talking about
Panther.
cocks and stuff and move on.
Yeah, right. We're trying to move away from
Enough of that
cocks,
talk on this show. That's for
especially
sure.
on the Friday free for all, bro. Come on. Yeah, but so yeah, I mean, listen, I'm hopeful for Zane. I know he's been a very inconsistent kicker for other organizations that he's been with, but I don't know, man. I'm just hoping that this problem doesn't continue to haunt us, man. Like we have to start pulling away. I don't want the games to be on our kicker's foot, and yet this guy is also trying out for the team at the same time. Like those two things don't go well together in my opinion.
that's the thing. I guess like the ideal situation. If your offense does its job, then all your kickers should have to do is kick field goals. And I'm a firm believer that we had a talent to put up 35 plus points on any team in the league, like it's any given Sunday. Saints have a solid defense. They've had one, and they currently seem to have one now. If our offense can go out there and execute, like many of us have pointed out, last week we left 14, 21 points. The fumble, if I'm not mistaken, it might have been on a different drive. So there's like 21 points right there.
Yeah.
If we go into the half up 20, 28, 30 points, bro, the Jets don't ever. I feel like the Jets would have had to go into catch-up mode, which would have just allowed our defensive line to just feast. They would have gotten more turnovers, so on and so forth. Moving forward, if we're able to execute when we get into the red zone, like sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit for this team, but the only thing holding us back is those three players in the middle. Those two guards in that center are what's keeping us from being an elite offense and putting up those 35 points a game that you think we can score. You can't put that up when you, as I said, you got your guard coming back in your lap every time you take a 3-step drop. Because the only thing you can do at that point is dump it off to Christian and cross your fingers and hope he breaks one.
Yeah, and you know that brings me back to that offensive line conversation too, because Panther Rule mentioned maybe these rookies aren't quite adapting the playbook yet. And again, maybe there is some truth to that. I'm in no position to say yes or no, but like, man, I'm just a big believer that you have to play through rookie mistakes. Like that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna mess up, but the only way you're gonna learn is to play meaningful reps. Like if they're gonna fuck up, do it now during this portion of the season, man. Do it in the first 4 weeks of the season when you know that we're gonna be playing either teams that were not very good last year, or they're experiencing some kind of turnaround or a depleted roster because of injuries. Like now's the time to do that kind of thing. And so it's frustrating to me, especially when I feel like these guys can really make a meaningful difference. And hey, man, there's no such thing as a coincidence. I've been talking about this offensive line, and look who pops up just in time for the discussion. Rashad. PMP, what's going on with you, bro?
What's
we
good,
had
bro?
Dave last
What's
week.
going on, Rashad?
What's good? What's good, fellas? I just
What up,
came up
man?
here real quick, man. I'm just chilling. I just got back to the crib. I said, let me jump in here real quick and holler at the boys.
Hey, man, you're right in time, man. I feel like I might already know your answer, but, bro, what do you feel about this offensive line going up against that Saints 4-man rush? Like, what's it looking like for us out here, man? Because let me tell you, we've spoken to a lot of beat reporters for the Carolina Panthers. We spoke to Joe Person. We spoke to Jonathan Alexander. And let me tell you, neither of them had a problem voicing their concerns about Pat Elflein. So it's not just us. Rashad, what you thinking, man?
Yeah, I'm nervous because we not going up against the Jets. This Saints defensive line is no joke. Even with the injuries, the defense as a whole, right? They're going to be able to capitalize on some of the things the Jets couldn't, right? Their secondary is much better, so they're just better all around. And so that defense is going to give us some problems. And I'm concerned. I have some concerns. And my disdain for this offensive line is well documented. So, I mean, it is what it is. So I'm concerned, but they can they can prove me wrong, right? I think Sam Darnold did really good, and that's one positive I've been kind of harping on that this whole week and going on the last week is that Sam Darnold did really well against the pressure last week. He did a great job.
Yeah,
and so I just think it's going to be a bit different this week, but we'll see. We'll see if he can overcome it.
Yeah, and I think a lot that goes into that is the status of Marshawn Lattimore and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. They're daytime decisions, and if Sam Darnold, like Rashad mentioned, he wasn't bad under pressure. And,
no, he was great. Not bad. He was great under pressure.
Yeah, he was one of the highest rated.
He was good.
So. Yeah, so if they're not going to be able to play, that's a real benefit to the Carolina Panthers. I'm hoping that the defense specifically just pins their ears back. This is a very physical, big, dominant offensive line. We have to win in the trenches, man. We have to win in the trenches. If not, they're going to be able to do whatever they want to do. Either dump the ball off to Kamara or, selectively pick their time to take shots downfield. We have to be aggressive on defense now more than ever, man.
Definitely.
Let me, Rashad, I wanted to get your take on this. The whole keep pounding chant in the stadium, man. I mean, look, you already know about it. We've already previewed it and talked about it with everyone else. Tell me where you're at on this, man.
Yeah, no, I think I'm not going to take credit for the whole thing because obviously I'm not going to take credit for it. But listen, I was there, right? And as soon as I left the game, I was on record saying, "Yo, we were missing the keep pounding chant." And I immediately went to Twitter. I said, "Yo, Panthers, the whole CGI shit that was cool, but we missed the chant. Like, yo, what happened? We hit the drum 4 times and y'all just moved on. Like, yo, what happened?" And so, we put the pressure on. The fans put the pressure on. I got a video out talking about it. And I think it's listen, somebody in a suit made a bad decision. Like somebody in a suit went up there and said, yo, we can get rid of this. We got time. No, they don't care about this. Some out of touch dude in the suit said we can do it without it. And we let them have it. I mean, it was a bad decision, terrible decision to do that. We need that chant. It's dope. It's not something I keep seeing people say, oh, just start it yourself. No, you can't start that keep pounding chant yourself. If you've ever been to the game, it takes 2 sides of the stadium to cooperate to get the chant going. You can't start. I tried to start it in my section. I tried to start it myself up in 519. It was my section. We got it it was about maybe half the section got it going, but the other side of the stadium can't hear it. So you need somebody to kind of orchestrate the keep pounding chant, and it's not something that just can be started. It doesn't work like that.
And see, I'm not an expert in other teams' traditions, but like I would imagine, all the other ones, Fly Eagles Fly, or
all of
Jets,
them,
JETS,
all of them,
whatever. They all have
coordinated.
some kind of prompt. Like, I mean, it's weird because even though I don't agree with the methodology that David Tepper is using to go about this, I am in favor of like trying to do anything to shed the wine and cheese narrative that has been around Panther fans. Like, and partly that's on us. We have to be a passionate, loud fan base that cares. But I do, I want the Panthers to continue to experiment, not necessarily changing things, but continue to do things to get Panther fans continuously involved. And, if that's their mindset, that's what they're wanting to do, to get fans to do more things on their own accord, I agree with that notion. I just don't think they're going about doing this the right way.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes, right? There's a lot of political. If you're paying attention to what's going on, and you this is a great. I was going to go right here. So you talk about Lucci and Brian Burns' brother being the official hype man. A lot of people are well, I'm not gonna say a lot of people. Some people aren't happy about that, right? There's a certain, they're upset about this and thought that it should have been some organic person or something. We've had people in the past that could have done that. I don't know. And then you've got the Roaring Riot themselves. They've been asking for a section of the stadium, and it appears that Lucci has a section of tickets that he can give to his folks. So there's some political things going on behind the scenes exactly. There's some things going on behind the scenes that aren't going well. And I think if you were able to give a section like the Roaring Riot the opportunity to start things organically, maybe it would happen. But there's some things that are going on around behind the scenes that aren't, and again, I'm not a member of the Roaring Riot. I used to be, but I'm not. I don't rock with. Let me not say it that way. I'm not a member. I'm not saying I don't rock with them. They cool. They do their thing. But I'm not a member. I rock with Lucci. That's my dude. Yeah. So I don't have any, I'm not picking sides or anything. I don't have a dog in the fight, but I'm just saying I know that there's there's a tip.
And then also, listen, once upon a time, no one thought that Julius Peppers would ever leave the Panthers until he did. So, okay, I hope it never happens. But if there comes a time where Brian Burns gets paid somewhere else, does Lucci go with him?
Yes.
I mean, is he still the biggest Panther, fan guy that there is? Like, I don't know. It does seem to make more sense to, especially knowing I remember Cam Newton used to give love to the Roaring Riot
all day,
all
the time,
all the time, man. And you have to do stuff like that, man. That's what builds the culture. The Sunday giveaway, when you used to give away the football, man, like stuff like that matters. And that's all missing from the Panthers right now, bro.
Yeah, it is. It is. I agree with you, Cody. They've got some work to do. But I tell you, going back to your original point, taking away that chant is not one of them. They played with the wrong thing. Like that was just the wrong thing to do. And it got a lot of attention and a lot of negative attention from the fans. And it's just some things you can't mess with. Like the keep pounding, it means a lot to us old school fans, us that we've been around for 20 plus years. It means something. And every time I scream that joint, I know what it means. You know what I'm saying? So I was ready. Man. I went to the game ready to keep and pounding or whatever side I was on. I was ready to go hard. And it didn't happen, It did. So it was disappointing. And the response was disappointing, too. It was out of touch. And I want to know who the spokesperson is, and I want to know who made the decision because it's piss poor.
And, I want to ask you while I have you, Rashad, I asked this earlier to everyone else. I brought up that, David Tepper being a new owner coming from Pittsburgh. I wonder if he's fully aware of how important our traditions actually are to us. I mean, it might be easy to kind of assume, well, we're just a 25, 26-year-old football team. We don't have this rich history of traditions. So what is it for him to come here and change them around now and do something different? Do you get that kind of feel that David Tepper might not have enough of an appreciation for the things like keep pounding and what it meant coming from Sam Mills and what it means to the Panther fans? Maybe David Tepper just isn't in touch with all that.
I'm not going to go that far. I'm not going to go that far because it's tough. Again, you cut a check. I mean, you cut a check for the team, and it's like, you pretty much you got carte blanche at that point. So it's like really like it's my team, but at the same time, the fans fill the seats. We're the one paying the bills. We're the one going to pay for the stadiums. We're going to do all these things to support the team from a financial perspective. So there's a balance, right? You have to respect the traditions that we do have. Like we don't have a lot, and there's certain things like we don't have a lot of things. Like, but there's one thing we do have, and that's keep pounding. Like if there's one thing to choose to not fuck with, it's that, right? We have that.
Choose the game winning song. the change.
And see, even if you did that, right? Everybody's talking about Sweet Caroline, but if you got, and I'm impartial, I don't care about the song, but if you take that away, somebody's gonna be mad.
The shit, bro.
Somebody's
gonna be upset. Not a fan. Yeah,
but somebody's gonna be upset if you take that too, right?
Yeah,
so
you're right.
There's certain things to play with. You can Sweet Caroline, all right, you can have that, but keep pounding. That's just something, and everything around it, you can't fuck with it. You just can't.
Yeah,
don't touch
jerseys.
It's on the jerseys. Like you can't do it. My bad. Go ahead.
So then go ahead, Jay.
I was just gonna say as far as like changing the song, because I've heard a lot of people saying switch
Petey Pablo.
How difficult do you think it would be for somebody to reach out from the Panther organization and see if J. Cole would be willing to write something for us? Like he's from North Carolina. Like
he's already said a song before, so I mean.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't think it's simple. Like they've got Cody Cutright who he's done songs and things for the Panthers, right? He's a great writer. Like they don't even need to reach out to Cole. If they wanted to change it, they could do it. I think it's just a matter of, do they want to? Like, they're starting to play around with some things, and I think you're gonna the CGI. Like I said, the CGI thing was dope. I was there. My dumb ass was looking on the field for the Panther. I didn't see it, and I thought that was super dope. I saw it on. I was like, yo, this is fire. Like that's cool to play with. But again, this is going back to the original point. There's some things you just can't fuck with, no matter how much you pay for the squad. There's some things you don't touch, and the keep pounding is one of them.
So I'm curious because Cody actually brought it up, and it made me remember when Sam rushed in for that touchdown. For a moment, I thought he was about to run to the back and hand the ball off like Cam used to. So, like, how would you guys feel if any of the players decided to like try to bring that back, like start that up as a tradition or something?
They should have never left. I mean,
like it was a dope thing to do.
Yeah.
I don't know if I heard you. What thing were you talking about bringing back?
He's talking about the giveaway, like the Cam giveaways, and that's easy, right? You have people that were from that, like Moulton, and some of those guys are still here. Like they wanted to do that. Yeah, I think it would be dope. I think it's dope. It's something that should stay. But then at the same time, you got some folk, or maybe you got some people that maybe don't like that because it was a Cam thing, and they don't probably want anything to do with Cam around here. So maybe because I think I agree with you, bro. He was about to go. It looks like he wanted to go up there and give it away,
like,
but then thought about it.
The way he was holding it out and everything.
I agree. I
would
do it anyway.
Excited as hell.
Like, what are they going to do? Tell them not to? Like that should be a Carolina tradition. Like we should take that, man. Like that doesn't even need to be. I mean, yes, Cam Newton started it, and we're always going to give credit to Ace for doing that. But man, that should just be a Carolina thing.
It's just like the keep pounding. Sam Mills, former Panthers player, like he started that up. Like so, there's an argument to be made whether or not DeLone was the best quarterback. I'm firmly in the camp of Cam was the greatest quarterback to play for the organization.
Yeah, he was.
So
it's a fact.
If that man has a tradition, then like let that run.
Yeah, 100%.
But Cam Newton's better.
Oh yeah, 100% better. Yeah, and then I've been thinking about this matchup, and I wanted to bring this up again too, just to get some more opinions on it. I don't know if I got Rashad's opinion on this, but Matt Rule has kind of had this mindset of. And every one of our coaches have had this mindset too. You listen to Sam, to Phil Snow, Joe Brady, any one of them. Everyone's pretty much saying like, "Yeah, this is another game on the roster." That we want to beat the Saints, of course, but they're kind of treating it just like another run-of-the-mill outing. And to me, it could not be anything less than that. Like, dude, it is so much more, bro. Like the New Orleans Saints, especially how they have absolutely paddled our asses for the past like 5 years, man. Yeah. Like, dude, us Panther fans that we're talking about wanting to get Panthers more involved. Well, man, these rivalries mean something. They mean something, and they need to mean something to the fans too. So it's like I understand that they're given like the politically correct answer of like treating this just like every other matchup. But man, I wish that they would put some more kind of emphasis on this. Like every team wants to beat their division rivals, especially the one that has been winning the division every single year since your team fell off.
Hey, Cody, I agree with you. And I think because I said the same thing about Sam, right? They were, yo, it's just another game. Cool. Like I thought that it was like, yo, Sam, like it's get back, like get hype for it, like yo. But
yeah,
I say this though, if they're gonna keep that energy, then cool. Like if they're gonna do that for every game, and that's their thing, like I'm cool with it. But I agree with you at the same time. I'm like, yo, you got to be able to get up for some of these games, like the Falcons, for instance, or if it's the Saints, you got to be able to kind of amp up. But maybe it's something they're doing internally, right? And then from an outward perspective, they're just keeping it political. But if they're gonna keep it like this and they're gonna stay consistent, I don't have a problem with it. Just don't fuck it up on Sunday. That's all I ask.
100% don't fuck it up on Sunday. Yeah, man. I don't even know what I wanted them to say, because I know they have to give like the politically correct answer and say, oh yeah, we're looking toward the next thing. And I don't know what they're saying behind, what they're saying to the team. Maybe it is a different message, but again, I just think all these things are linked. Like we're talking about, the fandom and getting the fans more involved and wanting to care and do things on their own. Well, these are the games that build that kind of atmosphere. A division rival at home, second week of the season, like this is important, man. But I want to do this too. I want to ask everyone. We did this last Friday before we played the Jets. What are some key matchups that you're looking forward to in this game? Is it so? For example, one of the ones that I'm thinking about is Alvin Kamara versus our linebackers. Because we've been very, I would say, impressed with Shaq Thompson wearing that lucky number 7 now, which is much more suited on in my field. Jermaine Carter Jr. wearing that number 4. Like, even Frankie Louisville, our linebackers played really well. But how do we expect them to tackle Alvin Kamara when so many people try and they end up just watching him run for a touchdown? So are there any matchups specifically that you guys are wanting to pinpoint or that you're going to be looking at? And I'll let whoever jump in who wants to rep.
The interior of our offensive line against their defensive line, that's going to be the game right there.
Yeah.
If we can block those guys up front and give Sam Darnold time to throw the football, we will win that football game. But if they put Elflein on skates like they did last week, we're in for a long day.
Ain't that the truth, man? Panther Rule, man, what are some matchups you're looking for? This is an important one, man.
Well, the offensive line, of course, but I also want to see how our nickel's going to hang up. I'm really curious to see who's going to be the nickel corner or the group of nickel corners. I believe if it's Sean Payton, he's going to target that issue. He's going to go for that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be afraid to put Horn there, but you're going to have to put somebody on the outside. Do you put the other rookie on the outside if you put Horn in the nickel? Because Rule talked about it once, put Horn in the nickel.
Well, I always thought the initial plan with J.C. Horn was to move him around. A Jalen Ramsey out there with the Rams and just kind of use him as a matchup nightmare. I'm hoping that that's what we do. I mean, I think this Saints receiving core is not as good as years past. I mean, they are without Michael Thomas. They don't have a lot of their big players right now. I would say their best receiver on their team is number 11, Deontay Johnson, and he seems to have formed a really good connection with Jameis Winston on some of those deep balls too. So I'm expecting Dante Jackson, frankly, to have a very big game against the Saints secondary.
I'm expecting the Saints to blitz a lot. I think they're going to try to get Sam Darnold off his, in his comfort zone.
Well, I think they're going to see if they need to blitz first, Because with our interior, they might not need the blitz. You know, they might get home with the 4-man rush. So we'll have to see there. Let me ask anyone this. Do you think we're going to be more blitz-minded on our defense? Whoever
I think we're going to have to be. I think if we want to stay competitive, we're going to have to throw the book at them as far as the defense is concerned. You know, our O-line is going to hold us way back. You know, we still don't have it figured out, and I mean, it's going to be a little bit, at least in my opinion, before we do have it figured out. So throw the book at them on defense. Let's give our offense the best chance that they can, and go from there.
You have to make Jameis Winston uncomfortable. Make him as uncomfortable as possible, and see if he reverts into Tampa Bay Jameis.
I don't know, bro. I watched Jameis. I watched that game last week, and even when uncomfortable, he was able to navigate the pocket pretty damn well. This ain't the same Jameis, bro. I think with Jameis, and I talked about this yesterday in our preview. I think Jameis, and we talked about the group of wide receivers, and we can't sleep on them because last year we let Marquez Callaway go out there and look like Michael Thomas, and they beat us without him last year too. So we gotta pump the brakes a little bit on that. But Jameis, I think that's going to be the key, right? We got to get after him. I agree, but we also have to finish, right? How many times were we almost there with Zach Wilson? I know we got him 6 times, but it should have been like 12. Okay, and we let him get away. And Jameis is a bit harder to bring down than Zach. Zach is more elusive, obviously, but Jameis is a big dude.
Stronger.
Pause. And he was able to maneuver the pocket pretty well. So we got to be careful with the blitzing because it's got to hit home if we're going to get after him. Another thing I'll say real quick, as far as it's not really a matchup per se, but one thing I'm really looking at is our third down efficiency. I said this yesterday too. We have got to sustain drives. Like we got away with it last week because our defense is so good, but third down efficiency and red zone offense, we have got to be better. Above 50% on both, or we will lose this game.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm definitely worried about this. I don't want to say worried about it. I just know that this is an aggressive defense that the Saints have. And I'll say this, man. That we don't give Sean Payton. I know none of us like the guy. The dude's always doing the dumbass duck lips that you want to punch him right in the mouth, dude. I know. But listen, we have to keep it real. Like, the guy is one of the best coaches in the NFL. Look how many different quarterbacks he has had go through that system, and they just keep on rolling, man. And people forget that once upon a time, they had to reinvent Drew Brees' career. People, when Drew Brees came from the San Diego Chargers, people didn't think that this was going to be the future passing yards leader of the NFL. Like,
the Dolphins chose Culpepper over Breeze.
Yeah, man. And even wasn't Nick Saban there at that time too, and even he chose to pass on Drew Brees. So I mean, listen, Rashad's he's not lying, man. This really might be a brand new Jameis Winston, but we can't let that scare us, man, because I really do think that we have the defense to go toe to toe with them.
I agree.
And I think that we're fast enough. I think that we're aggressive enough at every level of our defense to be able to be a legitimate competition for these guys. So, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because, and again, we talk about the quarterbacks. This is very intriguing to me. We talk about both of these quarterbacks. They're both dealing with similar situations, right?
Yeah, I mentioned this before. Yeah,
we're both questioning whether these guys are the real. Are we going to get them? Because we can say this, everything that's talking about Jameis applies to Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Everything y'all are saying about, is he wasn't under blah, blah, blah. You can say all the same things about the other guys. So
and once upon a time, highly drafted quarterback with another football team that always had a bunch of coaching turmoil that now is in a better situation with a better coach, with interceptions, a ton of interceptions, better coaches, better weapons around him. There's a ton of similarities between Sam Darnold and Jameis Winston. And JD is not in the show no more, but he made the point earlier, too, that we left some touchdowns on the board versus the Jets. That same route to Ian Thomas, and then
The fumble.
it was the fumble, which that was a whole nother issue. But then Terrace Marshall Jr. Going out to the right, we could have got a touchdown there too, man. And so Sam wasn't perfect. There were some throws that he missed, but I think once he found his rhythm, we were very happy from what we saw from this dude. And to continue to build on that performance, man, if he comes out and impresses against the New Orleans Saints, man, we might be having a different kind of conversation around Sam Darnold. At least that's what we're hoping.
I agree.
Yep. Ian Thomas has got to play better. If he's going to be the number 2, I know we've already talked that maybe he shouldn't be, but if he's going to be that number 2, he's got to produce like a number 2. I mean, when he's throwing the ball.
Yeah.
And at least blocking. I mean, I understand he's not a true blocker, but if he's in the role, he's got to participate in it.
Do we have any hope left in Ian Thomas, or are we all just ready to move on and get Tommy Tremble in there?
He's a body.
We should have been moved on. This dude's on his contract year. We drafted Tommy Tremble. He's not going to be in the long-term plans. Get him out of here. Let's move on.
Yeah. We could save close to $2 million by cutting him.
Yep.
Not that we're in cap issues or anything, but we could.
It's just pointless to string along dudes. It's not going to be on long-term plans. Like,
I agree.
He's expendable. We've got so many tight ends that, I mean, look at the production from the tight end. We've got 4 or 5 of them right now.
Yeah.
And nothing. They didn't do shit. Yeah. I mean, like. Other than block, well, the blocking is important, but especially when your offensive line is struggling. But they didn't produce much. Even Dan Arnold, who I had high hopes for, I mean, he had 2 catches for like 6 yards. That's not enough.
Yeah,
he definitely needs to be involved a lot more, and we saw that connection in training camp between Sam and Dan, and we're hoping to see more. But again, man, we're not going to see much more of anything new if this offensive interior can't pass protect. And I know that Pat Elflein, gets a lot of the jabs and the negative talk, but dude, I have not been impressed with Matt Paradis for 2 years now. For 2 years, I have not been happy with Matt Paradis at center. Tony says that, well, he was okay last year. Maybe he was, but I remember when we signed Matt Paradis, this was Pro Football Focus's #1 rated center in the NFL. And I'm sorry, but he has not been close to that, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, to his defense, he was coming off injury when we picked him up. So he's coming off a big injury. He played his first year with us, he was awful. The second year, he was better. Last year, he was better. And then this year, he got off to a rough start. And so he inconsistent. I agree. And he's not he is not the guy that was in Denver. I agree there. He's not that dude. But I don't know. I agree with you. I agree with Cody. I mean, we've got to be better there.
Yeah, I'm starting to get annoyed with Matt Rule on one thing, and that is he sits up in his press conference and he looks at everybody and he says, Sam got pressured a little too much. We really got to work on having Sam not be pressured as much. I'm like, really? We've been telling you that since the draft. We already knew that was going to happen.
It's almost
so. How can we, as fans, see it sitting in front of the TV saying they're screwed?
Amen, brother.
Yep.
And now he's like, and he wants to look at us like this is some new epiphany that oh wow, Sam just can't be pressured like this if we're going to be successful. No shit, Sherlock.
Amen, brother.
100%.
Amen.
AJ, 100%.
Amen.
And Rashad, I've even been mentioning with the guys here. I'm worried that Matt Rule already has that Ron Rivera tendency.
No, I heard you say that.
Where he just doesn't want to, like Ron Rivera. It took an injury to Amani Silatolu before Andrew Norwell got put in this offensive line, right? Dude, I almost know for a fact that some shit like that's going to happen with this offensive formation. It's like he's not playing our younger players, and for what reason, I don't know. And I've said, it could be possible that they're just not up to speed on the playbook, which I doubt with Tommy Tremble. Apparently that guy is in the books all the time learning plays. But my thing has been this. Even if you're worried about them making rookie mistakes, like, don't you want to put them out there and have them make those mistakes early on so they can start the process of learning from those mistakes rather than burying them behind guys that we know are not good enough to hold that starting position?
I think it all comes back to Sam, right? This is my opinion. I'm just completely guessing. No behind the scenes information. I think that Matt Rule is scared that if he starts one of those rookies and that rookie mistake happens, it could like mess with Sam Darnold's confidence, right? I think I know that Pat Eflin ain't the guy, but I think he's willing to die on the hill with a veteran doing it versus a rookie doing it. That's my opinion. I'm not going to bat for him because I agree. I think that Christensen and I think that Deontay Brown are better options right now than Eflin, 100%. But I think he's willing to go down with that. It being a veteran versus a rookie. I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'm guessing.
I wouldn't doubt that, and I really believe that he's listening to Tom Coughlin somewhere. I really do believe that, and maybe that's far fetched. Maybe it is, but I can't help but think that you look at some of the things he does mirrors Tom Coughlin. It doesn't mirror what he did in college. It mirrors what Coughlin done in New York, or what an older style coach does.
I mean, how much of a real relationship does he have with Tom Coughlin? I mean, I know that was the first place that Matt Rule coached, but like, is that really like one of his mentors? And I'm asking, by the way, I don't know.
I mean, Tom Coughlin pissed off a lot of people. I don't see Matt Rule like pissing off, too many people.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, man, we got 101 people watching.
That like button.
The only thing I'll ever ask, man, is just tickle that like button, baby. Make love to that subscribe button. That's all I'm asking for you. Hey, take the notification bell out on a date, man. Buy it some dinner. Do the right thing, man. We ain't asking for money. All we want you to do is hit the like button. Appreciate Panther content. Yeah, man, that's all we ask. So listen, man, unfortunately, I actually can't be too much longer tonight. So what I want to get into real quick, because I want to get some predictions from everyone. Tell me what you think the final score is going to be. And, maybe just another prediction that you think will happen during the game. So, for example, maybe a J.C. Horn pick 6, which would be incredible, But yeah, let's just go down the line here. Kevin, man, give us a prediction.
I'm gonna say 24-17 Carolina with Jameis Winston throwing an interception. I don't know to who, but I think he's gonna throw one.
All right, a Jameis Winston interception. I'm hoping he has more than one of them, if I'm being quite honest with you. Nick Montero, brother, give me your prediction. And yeah, by the way, let me see him in the chat room too, y'all. Give us your final predictions. Karen Joyce is 31-27. Sideshow Rob 27-24. Nick Montero, what's your prediction for this one, bro?
So I think what it's really going to come down to is who turns the ball over first. Who's the one that doesn't follow suit with the opposite team scoring. Because I mean it's gonna kind of be a shootout. We have two offenses that are going against two good defenses, and their offense is arguably a little bit better just because of their O-line. But I think it's going to come down to being something like 24-21. Okay. I think it's going to be pretty close. I think we're only going to get one field goal. I think there's going to be one defensive touchdown on our end. And then I think Sam's going to get 2 somehow. I think one of them is going to be Christian, and then probably one will go to DJ, if I had to put a guess to it.
Bro, I'm wondering if there's any amongst you bold enough to pick the Saints in this matchup.
I mean,
are we all feeling Panthers?
They should win.
Panther Rule, what say you, man? What's your prediction?
28-14 Panthers. I think Davion Nixon is going to get his first sack, maybe even a sack fumble.
He already had his first sack. He got a sack last week.
Hey, can we just
then he'll get another sack. Maybe get 3 sacks this week.
Listen, we think that we have a pretty deep draft, but even still, that dude might be one of the steals of the draft.
Yeah.
Davion Nixon looks like a real freak show monster.
I believe he'll start next year because I believe what's the name's Jones is his end of his contract this year. I think he only signed a 1-year deal.
But he's already a legitimate part of our rotation now.
Exactly. So
I'm definitely happy about Davion Nixon.
Nixon and Brown together. I mean,
Davion Nixon is what Kawan Short was supposed to be for Brown last year.
Yep.
And bro, if you see him, he's a big dude, man. No pause, Rashad. No pause. He's a big ass dude, strong as hell, thick, powerful. Hey man, Davion Nixon's a dude.
Pause, man.
Yeah.
Nah, no pause, Rashad. No pause, Rashad.
Total
hey man,
pause.
give me that prediction, Rashad. What you thinking for this, bro?
I said this yesterday. I'm gonna stick with my number. I don't know. It came off the top of the head, but I'm going 30-27 Panthers. I think it's gonna be a high scoring game. I think that it's gonna be close though. I think it's gonna be close. If somebody gets away early, I think it's gonna tighten up. And I'm gonna go now. This is kind of a crazy prediction, but I'm gonna go 4 sacks. 4 total sacks for the Panthers, and I don't know if it's gonna be some combination of 3-1 for Burns. I think Burns is a bit perturbed that he missed on a couple. He whiffed on a couple sacks last week. I think he's gonna finish. So I'm going 4 sacks. I don't know where they're gonna come from. I don't know who's gonna get them, but I'm going 4 total sacks.
4 total sacks. I like that, man. I'm loving that. I'm hoping. I mean, and we already had 6 against the Jets. Man, this defense, man, we're built to tee off on people, man. I'm loving it.
Yep.
Man, I want nothing more than just to slap these Saints, bro. I really so badly want to beat these Saints, man. AJ Lindsay, man, give us a prediction, man. Give us a score and something interesting that you think will happen in this matchup, bro.
I'm going 27-21 Carolina. And I think Sam Darnold throws for over 300 yards.
Ooh, I like that.
I like that one.
That's a good day. That's going to equate to victory if he can do that.
Hey, as long as if we win this week, I'm happy. Because, let's face it, if we win this week, that means Sam does what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly.
If Sam doesn't do what he's supposed to do, that Saints defense is going to tear him apart. I hate to say it.
Yeah. So my prediction is
go ahead.
I'm going to say 28-17 Carolina. And I think that this game is going to be even right up until the 3rd quarter. And then the 4th quarter is going to come around and the Panthers are going to put it away. Christian McCaffrey is going to take over. And I'm predicting that against this Saints defense, Christian McCaffrey has over 120 yards rushing.
How many receiving?
Ooh, that is rich.
I know, man. I know.
That's rich.
But
that's
dude,
heavy.
That's another thing, bro. On the same field as Kamara, everyone compares these two, and rightfully so. They're the best in the NFL. Bro, I'm bigging up my number 22, bro. Christian McCaffrey is about to have a day, man.
Yeah, I don't think C-Max ever had 100+ on the Saints. I don't even think he's breached like 60. I think it's usually tough sledding for C-Mac against the Saints.
Hey, man, there's a first time for everything.
No, for sure. I'm just throwing the numbers out there. It's possible.
How many receiving yards do you think he has?
Yeah, receiving yards usually go up.
Yeah, receiving yards. I mean, I'm hoping that there's a good mix. I'm maybe between 30
I'm gonna see $2. 1 receiving, 1 rushing.
That'd be nice. I mean, I would love it if it was a stat line where he had like 160 total yards. 120 rushing, 40 through the air. That's a good stat line to me, man. Maybe a couple touchdowns. So, hey, man, look, another version or another edition of the Friday Free Fall is in the books, man. There's been no nudity whatsoever. None at all.
We still got a few minutes left.
Did Dave tell you about that?
No, I missed that.
Bro, Dave was
Looks
on
like
here.
I'm glad. Looks like happy I did.
Bro, you would have really been pausing then, bro. I'm talking for real.
Ain't nobody
for
pausing
real,
when that came up.
Yeah, man. Like, bro, it was
Fast forward.
wild out here, man. And no, we made it through a whole nother one. Again, if you have not hit that like button, I encourage you to do so, man. Support this Panther content. Rashad, tell them where they can find your stuff, bro.
You can hit us up at Panther Nation Podcast on YouTube, Panther Nation PC on Twitter. Follow us on all socials, TikTok, Instagram, Panther Nation PC, man. And we vibing, man. We vibing.
That's what's up, man. Support Panther content all the way around YouTube, man. Support everybody. Rising tide lifts all boats. That's what I say, man. Panther Rule, would you have anything you want to tell them before we get out of here?
No, I would love to see Shaq Thompson play this week like he did last week, because I think if he does, he may be able to handle Alvin Kamara. He's got the talent to do it, but
yo, that's
all right,
y'all
cool.
catch me on Twitter. I'm all over the place.
AJ Lindsay, my brother, what you want to tell these people before we get out of here, man?
Hey, you can catch me on Twitter, AJ Lindsay 1216 on Twitter. Hey, I'm looking for a Panthers victory this weekend. Keep pounding. Let's kick that Saints ass this weekend, fellas.
Keep pounding, man. Slap these ants, bro. That's what I want to do. Slap them up real good, man. Kevin Boshoven, my man.
You can
Tell
find me on
them where
Twitter
they can find you, bro.
at KBosh89 on Twitter. Tomorrow I'll be on there talking shit to Cody once my Gamecocks score a touchdown. And then when they win, Spurs up.
Bro, if y'all see me on Twitter with a Gamecocks profile picture, that means that South Carolina managed to score one measly touchdown on Georgia.
That's funny.
One more than Clemson.
That's true.
Oh, man.
Bro,
That'd be crazy.
South Carolina fans need other SEC teams to do what they can't do, man. So I'm not too mad at them. I'll wear the profile pic if I got to, but I don't think I'm gonna do it, man. That Georgia defense is for real, bro.
For
Y'all
sure.
about to find out. And how about Jordan Davis from Charlotte too, man?
It's a monster, man.
Bro, dude looks
He's a monster.
unblockable, man.
Dude is a monster, bro.
Ragdolled my Clemson O-line, man. It was terrible, man.
They got guys. They got guys at every level, bro. Linebackers,
Yeah, I know.
cornerbacks,
They're
safeties.
stacked.
They're legit.
They're 100%.
Hey, we scored a touchdown in the last second when they had their backups in. That still counts.
Whatever, man. I never back down from my end of a deal. So
There you go.
if it happens, I'll do my thing. But
Same here.
yeah, man. I hoping you're the one that's rocking that Tigers profile pic, man. Nick Montiero, man, tell me about these roadsters that you've been building, man.
That's coming. So that probably the kit itself won't show up until probably about February. It takes about 3 months for them to build the kit and then send it to me, and then I gotta assemble it. But I'm not gonna end up ordering the kit until next month is what things are looking like, just with work and everything. But this next weekend, I'm actually taking my Jeep up Mount Washington. And there's going to be a whole crew of guys. We're going to go up, watch the sunrise. So those pictures will be all over Instagram, and I'm going to be trying to take out my Jeep at least once every weekend until probably the end of October, just to get it out. And then the Jeep's going to go away for the winter. Because unlike you guys, I get snow up here.
I do too.
Oh yeah, I forgot you're up here too.
Hey, bro, y'all can keep that shit, man.
Right.
I ain't fucking with no snow, bro.
We good with the snow over here.
I'm cool on that, man.
When you guys get snow, you guys only get snow for like a day or two. When we get snow, it sticks around for months.
Yeah.
And not only is it for a day or two, but everything shuts down.
Yeah.
No one goes to school. Yeah, man.
For the whole week.
Yeah,
for the rest of the week.
We're not built for that kind of weather down here, man.
Yeah, I was raised in Ohio where they had snow. Then I moved to North Carolina where they didn't have snow. And then it came a few flurries once, and everybody was going crazy. And I was like, "What's going on?" They said it's snowing. I said, "No, it's not. This ain't snow." And
Exactly.
it drove me crazy.
Bro,
Yeah,
JD, who was on here earlier, said he lives in Hawaii.
Oh,
I've always
dude,
wanted. That's
get
always
me
been
out
a
there,
dream of
man.
mine to live in Hawaii, man. That's yeah, man, for real. Panther Nation everywhere, bro.
Yeah, we all
the way
over the world, bro.
Over in the islands, man. Dude, I love that, man. Well, hey, listen, that has been another edition of the Friday Free for All. You already know we're gonna be here every Friday at 7 p.m. This is your show, man. You can come on here, tell me I look weird, tell me I sound funny. I don't give a damn as long as we talk about the Carolina Panthers and you're not exposing yourself on my YouTube channel, bro. That shit does not fly. We're trying to keep this YouTube channel monetized. Okay, so keep that off of here. But hey, I have been your host, Cody Lashley, here with another edition of the Friday Free for All. Until this Sunday when we go live right after the game for the C3 Panthers post-game show, keep pounding. Let's go.
Beastie